So Matt, looking at Mahomes and Purdy in the Super Bowl, and they're both just so completely different types of quarterbacks. Two great different talents, different stories. If you were a GM, I mean, it's so hard to identify who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. But if you were a GM, like what were the three main things you'd look at if you were drafting a QB that you would say, hey, this gives us the best chance of success?
I think, the first, number one, it's whatever skill set you're looking for, right? You have to have the physical ability to be able to do it. So you got to be able to make all the throws. In the current NFL, you got to be able to move, right? There's a level of athleticism that you have to have. So to me, that's like number one, right? What are the tangibles? Number two and three. Number two to me would be, how important is this to him, right? Like, is this the center of your world outside of maybe your family, faith, whatever that is, right? Like, is this the most important thing to you? Because you'd be surprised. At least I was. You'd be surprised when you get into NFL locker rooms. I thought it was going to be the most important thing to them, and it wasn't. And I was always like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. And so I think if you're finding the quarterback, they need to be that gym rat, right? That kind of eats, sleeps, that they never put it away. And then the third thing I would look for is no stage fright, right? Like I don't want a person that is scared of whether it's the moment or making a decision or, leading, being uncomfortable, having to say things that they need to say. I think that's a really important thing, at that quarterback position, to be that decision maker and not for it to be a struggle. You're not grinding through that. You really are just comfortable in those type of situations. And so, those would probably be the three things I would look at. The physical skill set. Then, number two is, are you invested totally in this? And then number three, the ability to make decisions and not be scared of the moment.
So one follow-up here, like the Moneyball question here, Matt, where would you have drafted Matt Ryan if you're looking at those three things, if you were a GM when you were coming out?
Good question, Brad. That's your best question ever.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, I was happy I got drafted third. So that was pretty good and ended up in Atlanta. But, if I was looking back on myself at that time, I think, in the current NFL, I'm probably not as mobile as you need to be. So there would be a slight, it was different. It was different in 2008, right? Like what you were asked to do. So I'm probably not quite as mobile as you would want right now. But accuracy, like all those things was really good. Arm strength was fine. So my physical thing would probably be like, if you're 10 out of 10, I was probably like an 8, missing on that, maybe the athleticism you need right now. I think I would have ranked really high in the other two though, right? Like football for me that was it. I was 22 years old when I got drafted, dating my wife now, but outside of that, that was the only thing that really mattered to me at that time. And then I think one of my skill sets always has been, to not be afraid of the moment, right? And not afraid to make decisions or lead guys or push guys or have to have uncomfortable conversations with teammates. I always thought those were things I excelled at. And so, yeah, I think I got drafted right about probably where I should have.
Well, Matt, all three of us are lifelong Atlanta guys. And so I would just say, you've had what's going to be a Hall of Fame career. I think being drafted third was a great pick for the Falcons, maybe the best pick they've ever made.
Yep. Definitely.
So,
yeah, my wallet's a little heavier because of it too. So it's good.
Hey, it was good times back then. There was no rookie salary cap or anything like that. It was the wild, wild west for that contract market. So I lucked out.